Carolyn Walsh joining us. Carolyn is Children's Services Program Supervisor with Catulpa, and she's here to share some information with us today. Thank you for joining us, Carolyn.
Thank you for the invitation.
Lovely to have you here. Carolyn, could you describe for us your agency's vision and maybe some of the services that you provide for families?
Sure. So basically, Catulpa Community Support Services mission is improving the lives of people with special needs by engaging and advocating for essential community services and supports. So our vision in working in the work that we do in a variety of programs is for a future that encompasses a community where the people we serve are recognized and valued as contributing members of their community and fully integrated into any activities they wish. They have a variety of meaningful relationships. They have for the future, and some of our guiding principles support them in achieving those hopes and dreams. We respect the values and diversity of people who participate in our services. We support social growth, development, and advocacy, and we build our services on the strengths and uniqueness of each client. Granted, you know, during this COVID pandemic, things look slightly different. Catulpa Community Support Services remains open, just in a different way. But all of our programs and all of our services remain in effect in a modified manner. All our agency and case manager contact information, for instance, remains the same, so people can certainly reach out to us at any time. We're still available. I can discuss some of the programs as examples of what we've that's working in remote condition and remotely at this point. For instance, our family resource program, working with families and service agencies and school boards, helps to identify the strengths and needs of families. They link families to appropriate community resources, and sometimes, especially during these times, so we can help families and assist in navigating some of those resources, and explaining how the process might not look the same as it had in the past. With physical distancing, the role of the family resource worker has changed to providing services to families remotely, but they can still connect with you or your family. They can still plans with you based on the needs and strengths of your community and what it looks like now. They can provide information about alternative funding sources and navigate the new ways agencies are doing services at this time. They're still assisting with school-related issues. They're still attending transition planning and school meetings through virtual means.
Right.
They're providing, a lot of our programs are providing virtual support such as coffee chats. We have SIB shops running right now virtually, and we're always thinking of new ideas of how to provide supports virtually. We're still accepting referrals. This is much, it's very similar to our service coordinators who provide the same level of service. They're really involved with integrating a plan based on the family's strengths and needs, and the team offering that team approach, and they're still available. They're still working remotely. In all our programs, for instance, we can connect by phone, by text, by virtual means, with respect to maintaining privacy for all who need to connect virtually with us, and email. So we have our means to reach families or to be available. And the role of the service planning coordinators, for instance, remains the same. They're still planning and integrating all planning around the child. They're helping during some transition time. If kids aren't in school and youth aren't in school at the moment, but they're still guiding those steps towards transition. They're planning for the summer months. They're planning what September might look like, examples of grade 8 students graduating and going on to high school and what that could look like. So they're there to walk alongside families in that respect.
Certainly lots of support still available to families given our current situation of physical distancing. Families are definitely, sounds like, receiving lots of support, and lots of programs you're still able to provide those services in a virtual sense.
Absolutely. We
Yeah.
remain completely and not to forget too that we offer FASD supports in both and in Simcoe, and so we're still accepting referrals. We're still connecting with families as much as we can. Our children's respite program as well, it looks a little differently. You know, respite's designed to give a refreshing time for parents to regroup, as provide some meaningful activity for their child. Well, that looks different right now, given the circumstances. So our respite coordinators looking at creative means to address you know, what that could look like. We know that, for instance, there's some virtual summer camps and respite camps. We're developing respite activity kits for families, and all of that will soon be to families in support of what the summer could look like for them. The respite coordinator as well, is she's available to connect with and ask questions around, what can I use my respite dollars for at the time? Because there, as we know, there have been changes. So again, all our programs are there to assist and support families in whatever way we possibly can.
That's wonderful. Lots of support. Carolyn, I wonder if you could share with us how you feel some of the programming, some of the services that Catulpa provides families fits with CTN's focus on the F words of childhood development.
Yes, the 6 F's, right? So family, fun, friends, function, and future. Did I get that right?
You got it. You got it.
Bonus point. Yes, definitely. Those are what we consider in our work life domains. And a lot of those center around the 6 F's we use in planning for our families and goal setting for our families. So for instance, if a family comes to one of any of our programs and asks for support to ensure you know, some future planning, let's say for a transitional point for a youth, they're leaving high school now, what does that look like? So all of our programs support those moments and times, or those life domains in the most efficient way we can. And if it's a matter of navigating resources or connecting to supports, that's what we will offer. And you know, just being aware of what other families have experienced during certain and what's been known to be a good resource and whatnot, so we can share that with families as well. And we really highlight those, you know, those 6 F's as you referred to, but it, you know, might look different in our different programs. We might have different terms to describe the same things, but that's what we're there to support, by all means.
That's great. So lots of fit with those words, the F words within your programs, which is wonderful. So just finally, Carolyn, if you could share with us, I know that in this time, there's a lot of unknowns for moving forward, but any plans that you may have that you can share with families about that plan to move forward, and how those services and supports, what they might look like moving forward.
Absolutely. I do have to say we have a creative bunch, creative brainstorming that's occurring, and how to think creatively outside the box or completely remove the box during this time. But essentially, how do we deliver meaningful services, and how do we develop creative ways to maintain the level of services that families are accustomed to or requesting of us and need? So we, you know, things like virtual coffee chats, respite activity kits, we're trying to meet the needs of families as they come forward. But on that note, we do have a survey that is available on our website at www.catulpa.on.ca, and the survey really is to gather some of those ideas, or get a sense of what gaps exist, get a sense of what's needed or still required, and how we could think differently in order to support individuals and families that we serve. So I invite people to refer to that survey, give us some ideas. We have a highly engaged and creative bunch looking to meet the needs of families. And even since the onset of the pandemic, people were thinking ahead what this could look like and planning. But it's always a great idea to hear from families and individuals what they would like to see happen. Also on that note too, our social media, our Facebook page, for instance, has daily updates, daily listing of resources. Our as well offers some resources, and all our contact information is contained on all our programs. So I encourage people to visit our website and our Facebook. But yeah, if you are on Facebook, by all means, connect with us, because we are providing daily changes in information, or new information and resources, what's happening in the community, all kinds of great stuff to share with families.
I know there have been some really great resources that have been shared for families, and when we will include the website and contact information at the end, Carolyn, so that families can go and access all of that great information that's out there from Catulpa. I want to thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all of this information with our families. I know that it will be well appreciated and well received. So I want to thank you for sharing that with us today, Carolyn.
Well, thank you for inviting us. And again, there's so many programs that Catulpa is able to support families and individuals. So clearly, I could not speak to all of them today, because there are many. So please, in our social media, and stay well, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you, Carolyn. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.